As much as Austinites like to spend their Sunday cruising below the Austin 360 bridge, today is about staying above the cutoff line for the USL Championship Western Conference playoffs. Austin Bold collide with Reno 1868, with potentially even the right to host in the opening round up for grabs in this one. Second ever meeting between these two sides, as Reno prevailed 2-1 in the second match of the campaign 3 months ago. Welcome into Bold Stadium. Take a look at the table coming into this evening's matchup. Sacramento Republic has just locked up a huge victory against Rio Grande Valley. That gives them a full 3 points to slide them into fourth, right behind Reno. Reno overcoming that 4-match losing skid with a dominant performance against Tacoma to hang on to that number 3 spot. They'll try to bolster their rights to host with another win on the road today against the Bold. Welcome into the broadcast booth, everyone. Lincoln Rose, Kit McConico, and Kit, we talk about Reno finally able to snap that skid in front of the home crowd. Can they find points on the road? Austin's been dominant here at home up until lately.
That's exactly right. A loss here Wednesday night to Sacramento Republic. And for Austin, it's not about getting into the top 4. It's about staying in the top 10. They desperately need a win tonight because they're on the road for their final 4 matches of the regular season.
Sacramento got that late victory. Otherwise, Austin potentially could have catapulted right back into the top 4. Meanwhile, Masovsky, he was a big part of that win against Tacoma. 4 goals, not just in 90 minutes, but in the first 45.
The Nevada native, former UNLV standout, has been on fire, scoring 6 goals in the last 2 matches. He broke a franchise record with those 4 goals and an assist en route to that 5-0 victory Saturday night over Tacoma.
So he's been catching fire as of late. Meanwhile, for the Austin Bold, it has been a steady showing for the man with the 99 on his back. Andre Lima still leading the way for the Bold when it comes to scoring strikes.
The Brazilian forward leads the team with 10 goals, but he hasn't scored in the last 2 matches. He was shut down Wednesday night, and that loss here at Bold Stadium against Sacramento Republic, Austin desperately needs to get him back in form, and he needs to find the back of the net if they're going to have a shot.
Bold realizing just how tight the race is for the coveted 10 spots in the West, looking for valuable points here at home. Opening kick when we return. As much as Austinites like to spend their Sunday cruising below the Austin 360 bridge, today is about staying above the cutoff line for the USL Championship Western Conference playoffs. Austin Bold collide with Reno 1868, with potentially even the right to host in the opening round up for grabs in this one. Second ever meeting between these two sides as Reno prevailed 2-1 in the second match of the campaign 3 months ago. Welcome into Bold Stadium. Take a look at the table coming into this evening's matchup. Sacramento Republic has just locked up a huge victory against Rio Grande Valley. That gives them a full 3 points to slide them into fourth, right behind Reno. Reno overcoming that 4-match losing skid with a dominant performance against Tacoma to hang on to that number 3 spot. They'll try to bolster their rights to host with another win on the road today against the Bold. Welcome into the broadcast booth, everyone. Lincoln Rose, Kit McConico, and Kit, we talked about Reno finally able to snap that skid in front of the home crowd. Can they find points on the road? Austin's been dominant here at home up until lately. That's exactly right. A loss here Wednesday night to Sacramento Republic. And for Austin, it's not about getting into the top 4. It's about staying in the top 10. They desperately need a win tonight because they're on the road for their final 4 matches of the regular season. Sacramento got that late victory. Otherwise, Austin potentially could have catapulted right back into the top 4. Meanwhile, Masovsky, he was a big part of that win against Tacoma. 4 goals, not just in 90 minutes, but in the first 45. The Nevada native, former UNLV standout, has been on fire, scoring 6 goals in the last 2 matches. He broke a franchise record with those 4 goals and an assist en route to that 5-0 victory Saturday night over Tacoma. So he's been catching fire as of late. Meanwhile, for the Austin Bold, it has been a steady showing for the man with the 99 on his back. Andre Lima still leading the way for the Bold when it comes to scoring strikes. The Brazilian forward leads the team with 10 goals, but he hasn't scored in the last 2 matches. He was shut down Wednesday night, and that loss here at Bold Stadium against Sacramento Republic. Austin desperately needs to get him back in form, and he needs to find the back of the net if they're going to have a shot. Bold realizing just how tight the race is for the coveted 10 spots in the West, looking for valuable points here at home. Opening kick when we return.
And now, soccer fans, please welcome your starting 11 for your Austin Bold. Introducing team first, defender number 6, Callum Malice. Defender number 15, Amobi Akugo. Number 99, Andre Lima. Number 9 forward, Clever. Number 21, Thomas Duviarte. Number 4, defender, Jermaine Taylor. Number 3, Edson Rothheim.
Yeah, he's gonna make you dead.
Number 19, forward, Chris Tierpan.
Okay.
Number 8, midfielder, Javi Baez.
Austin welcoming Reno into their house here in the Lone Star State. Final time these two teams meet in the regular season. If they happen to meet in the postseason, that's fantastic news for both sides. And it's a valuable 3 points on the line. Take a look at the starting lineup for third-year head coach Ian Russell, the only head coach that Reno has ever known now in its 3 years in existence. Bersano had a brilliant stop on a penalty kick opportunity against Tacoma to maintain the clean sheet. He's been one of 2 steady men back between the pipes this year as of late for Reno.
And for Reno, it's all about the men up top. Mazovsky alongside Herzog. Herzog, 5-year USL veteran, 13 goals. He leads 1868 FC. Those guys, Austin is going to have to figure a way to slow them down. I don't know if anyone can shut them down.
Similar lineup for the Bold, and head coach Marcelo Serrano was the one that dropped the match against Sacramento midweek. One of the differences, though, Chris Tierpak back in the starting 11. And, of course, on the back line, it'll be Sion McFarland ultimately coming off the bench, not getting the nod at opening kick.
A massive loss on the back line. McFarland's so good at turning offense, or defense into offense, I should say. They're going to need the speed of Tierpak alongside Imitu Masi, number 45, on that right side of the midfield. Those guys are really going to have to make things happen.
Yeah, instead, Malice gets his first start since back in the spring. Lincoln Rose, Kip McConico welcoming you into the Lone Star State, capital city of Austin, and a chance to check in for the first time down on the pitch with our sideline reporter, Austin Ivan.
Thank you, Lincoln. The Austin Bold welcome in Reno to the Circuit of America on this hot evening where it feels like 101 degrees on the field right now. Talking with the Bold players before the game, they said they don't just tolerate this heat, they enjoy it because they know it's something that they can take advantage of versus most other teams. For Reno, they've been hydrating all week, getting ready for this Texas heat. And warming up today, I think it already has affected them as one of their players was throwing up on the sideline from drinking too much water. So tonight, the Austin Bold look to take advantage of this weather in one of their last of the 2 home games of the season.
Sounds like they were training on West 6th Street last night. As we are just about set to go, as you saw how Austin, showing off her intelligence, found the shade over there on this early start time. As some teams have elevation, these Texas sides have a little bit of Fahrenheit working for them.
And you have to use whatever home field advantage you have. Austin needs to play quickly. You know, see Imitu Masi, one of the 2 men on loan from FC Dallas. But for Austin, a devastating loss midweek. They fell to Sacramento Republic here at home. Sacramento Republic got up 2-0. Austin pulled one back, but ultimately just not enough. When I spoke with their goalkeeping coach, Ryan Thompson, before the match, he said, this is the kind of game that makes or breaks the season. If we can win tonight, we're fully back in the playoff hunt, maybe even for a top 4 spot. If we lose tonight, it is going to be very difficult to stay in the top 10.
We saw San Antonio with a big win yesterday emerge back above that cutoff line. Austin, like Reno, has been spending much of the summer and now flirting with the early fall by being among the top 4. Reno, despite the fact that they had a 4-match losing skid, Austin had been alternating wins and losses. All of a sudden have dropped a couple of home matches against California sides. Most recently, that midweek clash against Sacramento.
Reno used to being in the playoffs. Only 5 clubs have made the playoffs in each of their first 3 seasons. They all come from the Western Conference. So this is something that the fans there in Nevada are used to seeing from this 1868 side.
Yeah, here's an example of 2 clubs that don't believe in making excuses for being a young expansion side. Reno now in its first 3 years. Really, you're talking about a conversation that includes Louisville and FC Cincinnati in terms of success over the first 3-year span. Only FC Cincinnati won a total of 50 matches in its first 3 years. Reno can do that still here in year number 3.
Yeah, Reno 47 matches, 3rd most all-time for a club in the first 3 regular seasons.
And, of course, Austin locked up the inaugural Copa Tejas, one of 4 teams here in Texas this year in the USL Championship with RGV, El Paso, and San Antonio down the road. Austin still having its eye on the ultimate USL Championship prize. And take a look at the keys for Reno, stringing a couple of wins now together, including one here on the road.
Yeah, they absolutely have. For them, it's about striking first. The boys in blue, they entered this match a 9-1-3 record when they score first. And they have the speed. They have to use it, really go up and down the pitch, and the winning streak coming off that shutout over Tacoma. But prior to that, they had lost 4 in a row. They are on the right foot. They want to keep it that way.
Talk about scoring first. Mazovsky's first of his 4 goals came in the 4th minute in that home matchup this week.
He was outstanding. He got a lot of credit, but it is a team sport, and the rest of his teammates doing their job as well, able to find Mazovsky.
Here is Danny as he'll lob one towards the top of the 18. Closest teammate in the area was the veteran Corey Herzog, as they'll send this one back to Matt Bersano. Bersano, the 27-year-old, as of this past week, celebrating his most recent birthday, pride of Chandler, Arizona. Saw him sign with the San Jose Earthquakes a couple of years ago. Last year joined Reno for the first time on loan, or pardon me, for the 2nd straight year on loan. Had close to 40 appearances here with Reno. during those first 2 years and has been a constant this year as well. He, as well as Marcinkowski, your other option at keeper, they have been virtually identical in their results, including 3 shutouts apiece. How can the Bold crack this defense of Reno today?
Well, they need that man right there, number 99, Andre Lima. He has to get the offense going. He is the catalyst offensively and grit. It is going to be a tough, long game. Austin has to dig deep. They know that this is almost a must-win match tonight. And very simply, just win. If they don't get the 3 points here tonight, they may be out of that playoff picture.
Everybody not named Edson Braffide is staring right into that sun here on this Sunday evening. Left-booted delivery coming up. Reno the first on it, second touch as well. Unable to clear as the shot will ultimately go wide, as coming in was Jermaine Taylor, looking to play the role of hero with what would have been his first goal of the campaign.
Not a position the Jamaican center back used to finding himself in, but Taylor, 100-plus game for the Reggae boys, has to do better, has to at least put that on frame and force Bersano into a save.
It was a Reggae boy who handed Austin that loss in Reno. Of course, that was when Brian Brown scored 2 of his 8 goals this year for Reno. He has since been sent off to Albania. The talented Jamaican who handed the Bold their first ever loss as a franchise back on March 16th. That same match, of course, Clever scored the first ever goal. Here is Clever fighting for a 50-50 in the air.
The Brazilian, the pairing with his countryman up top, has paid dividends all year for Austin, and a free kick won by the aforementioned Gladiator.
May have been a fortunate call there for Clever, as he was extending out for this ball. Probably looked worse than it really was.
A lot of talk going into this season. Austin, one of the most veteran lineups in all of USL Championship. How will they fare, particularly throughout this hot, long Texas summer? If they could get into the playoff picture, they figured they had the experience to make a deep run. But they are not there yet.
Bersano up to midfield. Unable to connect there with Sam Gleadle again in the starting 11 today. Tierpak, first meaningful touch into the box, through the wickets of Lima by design. They were hoping Chuamasi was going to be able to find the punctuation. Austin will take the opportunity to strike again here.
Just simply comes in and a fantastic job, able to clear that one away. This is why Austin has Tierpak in the lineup tonight. He provides speed. The dummy played by Lima and almost finding Chuamasi the intended target, but out for the corner.
So another set piece for Braffine out of the corner.
Austin, their chances coming via set pieces, not as many through the run of play, and they have to take advantage.
Sent in, punched away by Bersano. They'll do it again.
Great job from the goalkeeper, wrapping his arms around the post, and it was in his position where he knew he could not afford to gamble.
He's under attack a little more often here in the opening 7 minutes than against that younger side from Washington. Take 3. Braffide, back post. 4th corner kick here in the first 7 minutes coming up now for the Bold.
Nicely done again for the former Earthquakes man. Austin knows what's at stake tonight. They've come out on a mission, looking to strike first. Good service in from Braffide, the former Netherlands man. He may have been looking for the Olympic goal there.
He's gone near post, he's gone far post. Braffide. And finally breathing room for the visitors from Reno. There was rumors that snow could be seen in Reno this past week off on the horizon. What a difference a time zone or two makes. And a little bit of altitude. Chuamasi back to Lima. Chuamasi had a lot left in the tank in that match against Sacramento. Was simply playing at a different speed than the rest of his teammates. The man on loan from FC Dallas for the rest of this season.
He was outstanding, the best player on the pitch, bar none for Austin. Originally from Ghana, came stateside, played collegiate ball before being selected in the first round of the MLS Super Draft by FC Dallas. And Austin very happy to have him and his teammate Francis Otuahene on loan.
Mafeka loses this one for Reno, back over to the Bold. Malice eyes up the pitch, unable to crack the 18.
Poor ball from Malice. Gets a rare start tonight, and he's going to have to show something.
Janjigian able to put a halt to that attack.
Austin vulnerable in the counterattack. That has been the MO from opponents all season long, trying to catch him with numbers forward.
Richards, who had 3 assists against Tacoma in that 5-goal victory, sends a dangerous ball in, but the score still level.
And the man who put 4 in the back of the net in the first half last week, unable to put this one on frame. Mazovsky tried to head it at the goal line, which is what you're taught to do, but unable to force Restrepo into a save.
Mazovsky had goals in the 4th, 26th, 30th, and 41st minute. This is after he had already scored 2 goals earlier in the week.
And he had assists in that match as well, least we forget.
This is a Reno team where a handful of players have 5 assists or more. You never know where that next dangerous cross is coming from. They've been moving the ball really well, but again, hit a bit of a wall with 4 straight losses, unable to collect points, but still had built up enough separation there to be among the top 3 ahead of Austin and the rest of the USL Championship West. Mind you, how tight is the West? Phoenix still has not locked up the top seed. They have, so far, been the only team to at least lock up a postseason berth as well as they have played.
Ian Russell's side at their best when they play quickly. They have speed, young legs, 1-2 touch, attractive brand of football. And they get everyone involved. That is when they're their most dangerous and also the most attractive.
Raffide perhaps stepping in part for Sion McFarland, pushing forward here.
Already clear. You're going to see more of Edson Braffide pressing up the pitch, and that's what you want to see. Good combination play between he and Tierpak. Braffide maybe the best resume of any player, not just on the Bold, but in all of USL Championship.
Former Washington Husky there on your right, head coach Ian Russell, 7-year MLS career, including those 2 MLS Cup titles with San Jose. Lima looking for Clever. The Brazilians just unable to link up on that occasion.
Sacramento was able to stymie that combination between 9 and 99 on Wednesday night. They're hoping that Tierpak, his ability to run at defenders and bring it in from those channels into the box, will open things up a bit. Very nicely defended there from Chumasi. Saw where the man wanted to go down the touchline and just beat him to the spot.
We can confirm there is a man in goal for Austin and Diego Restrepo, even though there's been no visual evidence on the broadcast so far.
That's good news for Austin, a team that likes to dominate possession, particularly in their opponent's third.
His counterpart, Bersano. As an opportunity for Reno disappears with Laka. Opportunity here, Gleedle. Restrepo just able to send it wide. That ball goes home 9 times out of 10, but Diego Restrepo, one of the early priorities when Austin's franchise was announced.
What a run from Sam Gleedle right through the heart of the Austin defense, and it would have been in the back of the net had it not been for an outstanding save from Diego Restrepo. But Gleedle by 3 bold defenders.
No rust accumulating on Diego during those first 12 minutes when he went untested. Kasipli. And what an opportunity a moment ago for Sam Gleedle. Had Restrepo on an island. There's no whistle, but half the men are standing around. Can Reno take advantage?
Well read by Malice. They were looking for that ball to the top of the 18. Malice knew what was coming, was able to get there first.
Seth Kasipli, the 26-year-old out of San Diego, made it 3-0 the other night against Tacoma with his lone goal of the night. And a few skills put on display, appreciated by those who've come out to cheer on the Bold. And that's a tad heavy as Bersano out of his 18 will send it in touch. It'll be a bold throw.
Great idea. Javi Baez, the former Chivas Guadalajara man, playing the good ball down the line, looking for Humasi. Baez had very little impact in that Wednesday night loss to Sacramento Republic, and they need more of him tonight. The Iron Man of this team does all the dirty work, the young son hero this year.
Raffon. He's matched up with Gleedle. Tierpak went unused in that midweek loss against Sacramento.
Lima flat-footed, not going to the ball, easily picked off.
And you see battling the sun right now, but able to secure that one, Jermaine Taylor. No pressure from Reno. They'll wait until the midfield stripe.
They have the speed, the young legs to counterattack, and they know that Austin wants to press forward in mass, and it looks like they're going to let Austin do just that, see if they can dispossess and take advantage of the light numbers at the back for the Bold.
Watching that exchange right there makes you appreciate just how few times we've seen Austin have to work through the back. So much of their possession up front. With that said, it's Reno that's been the more successful side offensively. 61 goals this year, third best in the league, including the 5 spot put up on Tacoma this past week.
And for Austin, it's been Jekyll and Hyde. Great at home, not so much on the road. Reno's been good on the road as well, 6-5-2 record away from home.
Malice will send in an opportunity for Lima. But Reno, to their credit, able to keep it off the Brazilian's forehead.
1868 doing a great job keeping someone on number 99 in black and teal at all times. They know what he can do if left open.
Marcelo Serrano, and his first year with this expansion side, Austin Bold, gives us a chance to mention he is the all-time winningest coach in Bold history, sitting on 11 victories, 7 draws, 10 defeats. Also 39-year-old, moonlighting as your head coach of the U.S. Virgin Islands squad. And it's going to be Javi Baez taking over for this corner.
I like this idea. Sonny Guadarrama, the local product, not in the lineup.
Malice had the right idea. Reno had the answer. That's been the story so far. Austin has come knocking early and often, but Bersano and the men from Nevada, more often than not, have been ready.
Bersano's had a response to every Austin attack thus far. He's been busy. And some big saves from number 12.
Raffon. Clever will try to keep this one in play for Austin as he dances with Lacroix.
And for Austin, good to see Edson Brofheid more involved. They didn't have him early in the year due to visa issues. He was trying to get that work visa paperwork situated, but now they have him, the former Bayern Munich man, Netherlands international.
Tierpak inside the 18 will win another corner opportunity for the Bold as he sends that one off Richards.
And Austin doing everything right in the first 17 minutes, dominating possession. They're having the chances. They just need to reward themselves with the opener.
It's an Austin Bold corner kick.
Mind you, it's Reno that's among the top 3 and has been convincingly for much of this campaign in the West. It's the Bold now playing a team above them in the table. But Austin's been the dominant side, empty-handed until now. And is there a foul that negates the goal? It is still 0-0. They will disallow the goal after contact in the box.
Contact with Bersano. Lima thought Austin had found the opener, and Javi Baez getting a bit of clarification from Guido Gonzalez Jr., our center referee.
Another look.
And you see Baez, the in-swinger, well placed, good touch on it. It went through. Tierpak, I believe that. And you see the collision, the Reno man down on the pitch. Referee on the spot, goal disallowed.
Would have been number 11 for Andre Lima. and would have ended some frustration for Austin, who's been attacking that frame of Bersano so far for the first 18 minutes. Can Reno, with a limited opportunity here, find themselves leading on the road? And that is going to be the most unfortunate of penalties, but absolutely the right call. It was not necessary. Ankles got tangled, but Daviardi will be the guilty party.
Tomas Daviardi making the contact. It was obvious. La Cinco Doce not happy. But Austin going from one in, a goal disallowed, to Reno, a possibility to take the lead here. He clipped Herzog. Corey Herzog.
It was one of the lesser dangerous balls in the 18 you're going to see, but just aggressively pursuing that loose ball, and it got the best of him.
Lincoln, you're exactly right. That's a ball that's far enough in front of Herzog that you're not quite sure if he'll be able to get to it in play, and even if he is, he's going to have very little angle.
So after all of that, Reno with the odds in their favor of taking a lead. And at the moment, it looks to be Herzog, the veteran.
Leading scorer, 13 goals this year for Reno. Former Tampa Bay Rowdy man, amongst other teams he's played for.
Goal here would match his career high for his season 2 years ago in Pittsburgh. Put up 14 for the Riverhounds. Diego Restrepo is going to take his time, a little hydration. Both of our goalkeepers in recent matches have been able to shut down a man 12 yards away.
What a turn this is. Austin dominating. And now it's Reno with a chance to take the lead.
Herzog right into the heart of that frame, and Reno strikes first. This shortly after a goal disallowed by Austin on the opposite end of the pitch.
Picture perfect finish from Herzog. Sent Restrepo to the near post and just right down the middle. Didn't even have to hit it all that hard. And for Austin, demoralizing to say the least. They thought they had the opener, disallowed. Herzog comes back less than 60 seconds later to put Reno on top.
The 29-year-old has given Reno, and again, they've had limited opportunities. And what was really not a dangerous situation for the Bulls defensively. But it was a foul that simply had to be recognized by Guido Gonzalez.
An obvious foul. Everyone here at Bulls Stadium saw it. Gonzalez, no choice but to blow the whistle, and rightfully so. And for Austin, they got down Wednesday night here at home to Sacramento Republic. Previous to that match, they'd lost only twice here at Bulls Stadium all season long. They put themselves in a 2-0 hole. They were able to pull one back, courtesy of Clever, but ultimately could not find the equalizer. And again, they will have to play from behind tonight.
Yeah, they're just 2-2 in their last 4 home matches after this has been a fortress securing points here at home. Looking for the answer. Tierpak sends a cross in. Let me know if you've heard this before. Austin Bold will have a corner kick as Reno's back line able to intervene.
That's the combination you want to see. Number 45 to 19, to Amasi, to Tierpak. Both speed, both can make things happen.
Galindo on loan from Guadalajara, able to step in and send this one. You see the discrepancy above the score line, and yet Reno up a goal. Baez never getting anything underneath that one. Still a chance here. Baez sends in number 2.
Quite simply not good enough on either occasion there from Javi Baez, and turned over by Austin.
Even numbers, backing towards the frame of Restrepo, who's finally back on his line. As Herzog will have Reno recalculate here. Gleedle. And Braffard gambles and ultimately gets his boot on that ball first.
Gambles is exactly right. If you're going to go to ground inside the 18, you have to be absolutely 100% sure that you are going to get the ball and not the man, and Braffard able to do so.
9 years removed from that 2010 World Cup in South Africa.
Played in the final when the Netherlands fell to Spain, courtesy of Andres Iniesta. Came on as a substitute in the 105th minute for Giovan Bronckhorst.
Kasipli It should still be playable. Opportunity still alive here in the offensive third for 1868. Already up a goal here in this opening half. Galindo able to land on it. A man by the same name, his father, Benjamin Galindo. Those 65 appearances for the Mexican national team. Restrepo shuts it down. A rebound ultimately to Mazowski, but he'll be called for the foul. And with that, the attack ends for Reno. But Diego Restrepo again comes through to keep it just a 1-goal deficit.
And again, Reno looking dangerous. What a difference that opener. 1868, they were on their heels, and now they're the ones attacking, putting Austin under pressure, looking for the insurance goal. You mentioned Benjamin Galindo Cruz, raised in Mexico City. Obviously his father, a great player for El Tri.
Gear pack again, not utilized on Wednesday. He had a hat trick in a span of 45 minutes in a second half substitution role earlier this year, and as impressive that was, Danny Mazowski's 4 goals in 45 minutes, all the better the other night to end a losing skid for this Reno Sun.
And Mazowski on a tear, 2 goals in the previous match. Your goal scorer in the net just looks that big as it does from Mazowski. It's hard to miss.
Mazowski, who last year had been loaned from San Jose for the first time after being a second-round selection in the Super Draft. Would suit up 17 times for Reno. Ball sent in, and no pressure would follow for Austin, as this one's simply a goal kick coming up.
Talk about how the Bold like to commit numbers forward up the pitch during that offensive sequence. Everyone in black and teal on the offensive side of midfield.
As a goal kick, obviously that one in touch. So this final score you see went final just before opening kick. I don't think the Bold were following it too closely, but that is a significant outcome. It was on track to be a 1-all draw between Sacramento and RGV. But Sacramento claimed another 2 points at the end there with that go-ahead goal. And that puts more pressure on Austin. That puts more pressure on Reno. Sacramento is now in the top 4 teams with a chance to host. And what a home field advantage that would be in the early rounds of the postseason.
Yeah, if they're able to host a first-round playoff match at Papa Murphy's Park, that'll be something else. Always a great atmosphere there for the Republic. Austin really hoping their fellow Copa Tejas mates in RGVFC would at least get a draw there. Not the case.
Lidl with another start for Ian Russell here today.
You can tell Gledo feeling it. Former University of New Mexico Lobo had that great knifing run through the heart of the Bold defense.
Well, this pitch was decisively tilted in favor of the home side for the early 15 minutes or so. But instead, it was a penalty awarded to Reno. No mistake from Herzog. Matches his career high, 14 goals in a campaign. Man, you and I have seen over the years with the NASL version of the Tampa Bay Rowdies, more recently with Pittsburgh and St. Louis here in the USL Championship, and now calling Reno home.
For Austin, a little salt in the wound considering that they had a goal disallowed less than a minute before that goal. The penalty kick was awarded to Herzog.
Baez called for the foul. A lot of unofficial referees in the crowd. Don't see eye to eye here.
And Baez,
yeah,
a lot of contact there. Just the back of Raul Mendiola, who did a good job shielding Baez, and Baez right through him. That's going to be a whistle every time. Marcelo Serrano formerly coached youth national teams in both his home country of Brazil and here in the States. But it's a veteran lineup that he has put together in Austin for year 1.
And one of the more recent additions for Austin this past month, one of his former players when he was with the U.S. youth system.
And brought in George Acosta, former U.S. U17 player, has been down in Argentina.
Chuamasi. Clever. Tierpak turns, but there are two men waiting for him. Baez! There would have been no answer available for Bersano as he watches that one go by, just one. And we're going to have a hydration break here, just short of the half-hour mark. Again, with player safety concern in the heat here in Austin, you've been able to tell the sun has yet to take a break behind a cloud for the opening 28-plus minutes.
Thank you.
Also not taking a break so far this first half, our sideline reporter, Austin Ivan. Austin?
Thanks, Lincoln. The Austin Bold have spent the past few days, instead of focusing on Reno, since they've already played them once this season, they've been working on individual things. Head coach Marcelo Serrano said the last game they didn't do that good at making goals. He said, we got a lot of shots on goals, but we weren't finishing them. So the past few days, he's been doing extra drills and exercises to get extra shots in. He said he wants his players to do better getting crosses and getting more players in the box, so they're trying to work on that in this game.
Austin, thank you. The Bold do have the benefit of some great facilities and some great partners around town. They can train indoors, they can train outdoors, depending on which conditions they're getting ready for. Right now, you see Reno head coach Ian Russell again. All 3 years has been at the helm of this 1868 side. Our difference maker, after the foul called on Austin in the box on Daviardi, it sets up Herzog, who made no mistake. A little shot through the heart. Restrepo too late.
Corey Herzog right down the middle. Restrepo in that situation just guessing wrong, and the lone goal thus far against the run of play. Everything going Austin's way. They had dominated possession, shots on goal, all the stats in favor of the home team. But that one mistake, the foul inside the 18 to Herzog, his 14th goal of the year.
Limited shade right now on the pitch, but at the moment it is right in front of both benches. That shade will grow throughout this match as it progresses. Austin, with that loss to Sacramento, slipped from 4th down to 7th in the West. Reno hanging on to a top 3 spot. Of course, Phoenix has been brilliant, and it is just absurd how well they have done. And you're almost tickled when you see teams that are looking to almost pull out a draw, and you know for a fact Phoenix is just toying with them in those final minutes.
Absolutely incredible what they've been able to do this year. Rick Shantz, I don't know how many USL Coach of the Month awards he has won. It seems like just about every month or every other month that is going to reside in Phoenix, and well, it should.
Fans, a reminder that you'll be able to continue to enjoy the USL on ESPN through at least the 2022 season. The USL, again, this past month, excited to announce the championship and League One will remain with the leader in sports for 3 more years. ESPN Plus will continue to be the home of all things USL, and at least 19 matches a year will be featured on the ESPN family of networks, including 9 games on ESPN Deportes. You can continue to follow, support, and watch your club on ESPN and ESPN Plus.
As obvious as it seems, Austin needs to respond quickly. They got down in the 2-0 hole Wednesday night in that loss to Sacramento Republic. They had to play back from 2, weren't able to do so. Momentum on the side of 1868. The longer Austin stays down in this match, the more difficult it's going to be to come back.
Music still playing from the hydration break. A little anthem for our athletes, as typically that is reserved for the Austin Samba and the beat of their drums. Looks like they found a little bit of shade as well. Austin down a goal. Corey Herzog with the difference maker on a successful penalty so far.
Don't want to get too dramatic, but season may be on the line for Austin tonight. If they're going to stay in the top 10, if they're going to find their way into the playoffs in their first year, I have to think that they at least need a point. Their final home match coming up a week from today, and then it'll be 4 in a row on the road to win the regular season.
Okugo. Yeah, everybody for about a month there in the summer just kept wanting to ask us, do you think Austin will be hosting a match in October? And you had to keep pointing out the caveat. There's a chance they're not even in the postseason. They had been doing just enough to hold their ground, but the rest of the West, if a few things shake out, you can quickly plummet from 4 outside of the top 10.
The parity in the Western Conference is absolutely uncanny. You look at how close things are in the standings. It's a kind of conference where if you lose a match, you could be out of the playoffs. If you lose 2, you may not have a shot to get back in.
Kleber initially landed on that ball, but refusing to give up on it was Kasipli for Reno. As Seth will send this one up across the midfield stripe. Taylor to Tierpak.
Austin needs to get back to the team we saw in the first 20 plus 25 minutes or so. They just dominated possession. They were patient, took the opportunities when presented.
Reno, a much different looking team once they have that first goal. They've been so successful after striking first and actually turning that into 3 points by the end of the night. Here's the pride of the United Kingdom trying to send one in. But Okugo at the moment has Gleedle, and Okugo now has the ball. Reno will reset.
And you said it, just how different Reno is when they strike first. They are 8-1-3 when they score first. And you could see the confidence boost from the men in white.
Have to imagine they were looking for Mazowski there. Restrepo the only man to try to pursue that ball. Ultimate constant in goal, Diego Restrepo, 2 years removed from being the top goalkeeper in this league. When he was with San Antonio, an hour and a half south of here. As they'll continue play.
Restrepo has led this defense all year long, former national champion at the University of Virginia. Played professionally in the U.S. along with Venezuela and Colombia.
Over the top as Taylor will buy his keeper some time.
Yeah, good to see him quickly off his line to get to it.
36th minute underway between Reno and Austin. And of course, Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship, along with many of the finest leagues in the world. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. For the latest Select products and special offers, you can visit selectsportamerica.com. Right now, it's Kleber hovering over that Select ball. And a foul against Reno will give Austin the ball at midfield. Kleber had that one goal in Reno back when the Bold were in the midst of it. Their first ever road swing to open the season.
He was the man early in the season for Austin. He was scoring all the goals for the Bold before his countryman Andre Lima got fully fit. Lima was coming on playing 30, 40 minutes at a time. But once Andre Lima got back to 90%, or 100% I should say, 90 minutes of match fitness, he has been a terror.
Kleber found his 7th goal of the season against Sacramento in that losing effort midweek. Kleber was the first of a handful of Bold players to have 4 goals on the year. Then that's when Lima all of a sudden caught fire, now in double digits. We talk about, though, Reno. This is a team that has continued to succeed even without Brian Brown, the Jamaican national teamer.
That's what good teams do. You're going to lose players. You're going to move on. Players will retire. You just figure out a way to plug that hole, bring a new talent in, or players step up. Herzog and Vasovsky have done that.
Brian had already recorded 8 goals, 5 assists, and almost 1,000 minutes. Herzog, as Daviardi is going to receive a yellow. That's the second silliest foul, but obviously that one at least had a purpose for Toma.
And it came from behind. He was the man who conceded the penalty, and Galito already seen what he can do with the ball at his boots, running through the Austin defense, and Daviardi was not going to let him get ahead of steam.
Please, yellow card issued. At the 38th minute, Austin Bold, number 21, Thomas Daviardi.
Another look just over the shoulder.
I knew exactly what he was doing, a professional foul there.
Austin Bold.
And not the first touch Reno was hoping for. Mazovsky, the Las Vegas native. We will see the lights of Las Vegas here in town next weekend. That'll be the final home match for the Bold for the regular season. They will finish out the final month at Portland, Salt Lake City, El Paso, and Tacoma. And that will be a critical road trip to determine whether or not the Bold will be playing into the third week of October.
Austin began their inaugural year on the road up at Cashman Field in the City of Lights. When able to come away with a victory over the Lights, and they will hope to return the favor here at Bold Stadium next week.
Joe Masi has played at all three levels for the Bold, up top, in the middle, and on that back line as needed. The energy has been the constant regardless of where he's been on the pitch. As Braffide able to salvage this.
Oh, what a job from Edson.
Little stroll along the end line. Sends one in, and it's a corner kick for Austin.
And that's a ball for all the world. It looked like it was going to go out over the end line. It would be a goal kick for 1868, but Braffide able to track it down and wins the corner.
Bersano these days has a lead to protect as the netminder for Reno. Baez, this will be his second effort from the corner. Last one was low. Tierpak, back post, we're level. Chris Tierpak will get the assist for redirecting that to the back post, and it's Clever for a second time this week and for a second time this year against Reno, finding the inside of the net.
Austin needed the response, and they needed it in the first half. Clever on the back post, able to sneak it through was Tierpak. Clever on the spot, the Brazilian. Good service from Baez, flicked on by Tierpak. Clever, right place, right time, and we are tied at 1-1.
There are probably only two fan bases in the West not cheering on Reno in this one. With that said, I don't think the folks in Arizona particularly care which way this one goes. Orange County might feel differently. We are even. What is that, 13th time's the charm on a corner kick? Give or take a few.
Opportunity after opportunity, Austin unable to make anything of it, and finally
give Baez the hockey assist.
Clever there. Former Sao Paulo man, played at Dynamo Kiev, played Champions League football there for the Giants of Ukrainian football, and then elected to go back to Brazil before coming stateside to join the Bold.
Austin wants a handball. They will get that whistle against Mafeka. Mafeka, the South African, 25 years young. Back with Reno after 24 starts a year ago. Reno's had nice consistency in its lineup from last year. Able to add some pieces in this year as well for a team now sitting third in the West. 2 wins shy of their 16-win total a year ago. And Daviardi now has to feel like he's a little bit more off the hook. Braffide and Bersano able to punch it away.
And Lincoln, you speculated early that it was going to be Braffide taking that place of Sion McFarland, pressing forward, getting the offense started, and that's exactly what's happening. Braffide has done a very good job.
It's easier said than done. Trying to reclaim the opportunity to take a lead here, Gleadle. Off to the races, Bold in pursuit. Gleadle eyes the frame, lays it off, a beautiful run. And the punctuation comes from guess who? Danny Mazovsky.
Mazovsky with the goal, his 7th in the last 3 matches, but give credit to Sam Gleadle. Another devastating run right through the middle of the Austin defense. No one able to slow him down. And Gleedle blows by everybody, lays it off to a wide open Mazovsky, and all he has to do is slot it in to put Reno back on top.
Sucked the Restrepo off his line, expecting the ball from 23. And you wouldn't think it's possible, but nobody paying attention to Danny Mazovsky.
All the eyes on Sam Gleedle, and rightfully so. Mazovsky, one of the last 3 matches he's had. Herzog with the opener. Mazovsky puts Reno back on top, but it's Sam Gleedle, in my opinion, who's really been pulling the strings in the midfield. Another devastating run, just right at Austin, and they have no answer for number 23 in white.
So first goal allowed in the run of play tonight by the Bold.
Austin did a good job coming back after putting themselves behind a goal. They're going to have to do so again.
Tierpak, Lima. Tierpak trying to win a call for a foul, but not going to be recognized.
Local product out of Dripping Springs High School, just south of Austin. Always a fan favorite. Good to see him back in the starting lineup.
Up ahead from Richards. This time, Daviardi able to pluck it away from the goal scorer from a moment ago. But no mistake here from the back of Reno. And you're looking at a stoppage time substitution for Austin. As Sonny Guadarrama may factor in here in the final moments of the first half. No fewer than 3 minutes of stoppage time being tacked on.
Sonny G, another local product out of Cedar Park High School, one of the most successful players to ever come out of Austin, Texas. Spent 10 years in the first and second division of Mexican football. Played for Santos Laguna and Torreon. Also Dorados of Sinaloa.
He's going to come on for the man playing on a yellow in Toma Daviardi.
This is a good decision by Marcelo Serrano. Daviardi, not a good first half. Conceded that first penalty kick to put the visitors on top, and he's had trouble in the middle of the pitch. And Sonny more offensively minded. He's not going to give you that defense, but behind a goal, you're going to need him to get things going on the offensive end.
Yeah, not exactly similar skill sets as the single substitution for the Bold here in stoppage time of the opening half.
Yeah, you anticipate Sonny G. He's going to play further up the pitch, sit behind Kleber, Tierpak, and Lima.
Well, if you're the Bold, do you already start to gamble a little more often, desperate for 3 points in your penultimate home match?
Without a doubt, you have to at this juncture, and you're down a goal. I anticipate them playing conservatively here to end this first half, but they're going to come out guns a-blazing to start the second. They know they have to get at least the 3 points. I don't think a draw is going to do it.
Lima had Galindo on his hip. Andre Lima, 34-year-old out of Rio. Two-time champ back in his home country with Sao Paulo and Fluminense.
He and Kleber, they played together. They were on that side there in Puerto Alegre playing for Gremio. Now doing so here with Austin. Great relationship on and off the field.
Can Reno find some insurance before they head to the locker room? Richards sends one in, Braffide. And Malice will keep it out of the corner at least for a moment. And that's going to be a toss. Probably about 30 seconds left here in this opening half.
A roller coaster of our first 45 minutes. Austin dominated the first 25, but it was Reno who found the opener via the PK. Austin came back to equalize, and then Reno just as quickly back to take the lead.
3 different goal scorers here in this first half. Galindo with limited time remaining until we hear that whistle. One more chance. Gleedle. And nothing will come of it. This was the final score against Sacramento for Austin, as there's a stalemate in the second half. They will hope that a second half goal appears on their behalf when they step back out from that locker room. Second and final meeting of the regular season between these two powerhouses in the West. 1868 strikes first and strikes last in that opening half. They lead 2-1.
Some appreciation. Johnson places the ball on the spot, getting ready. That man literally has a cannon for a leg. Here he goes, winding up with a shot, and oh! The cannon has fired and hit Sterling directly to the bank.
We clocked that in a stunning 116 kilometers per hour.
Now that's a lot of miles per hour.
Little chance that man's nose is not broken right now.
Oh, indeed. Now, Sterling getting checked out for that one. Spectacular save, though, but sadly, he's not out of the woods yet.
On his feet now, a bit shaken.
But not stirred.
This crowd absolutely loves this man.
And Sterling's teammates welcome him back a hero for now.
He yells up again for the second attempt, looking to make it 2-0.
He approaches the ball with some determination. Here he goes.
Oh, it's high and wide, way off target.
Yes, apparently he thought he was kicking a field goal.
Wrong kind of football, I'd say.
Good show.
Back now to Scott Sterling. He looks a bit worse for wear, but ready for round 2.
And Shaw takes a moment. Here he goes with the approach.
Oh! Sterling with a fantastic dive. The ball flies straight through his hands and once again strikes him straight in the schnoz.
And let's see it again on the old instant replay. Oh, every excruciating detail captured in HD perfection.
Clocked at 129 kilometers per hour. Sterling does not look well.
2 wonderful saves and 2 definite concussions.
They may replace him at this point. He's done all he can.
Yes,
This match is brought to you by Ascension Seton, the official medical provider and sports medicine partner of your Austin Bold. By Courtyard by Marriott. Step up your stay at the Courtyard Austin Pflugerville, where winners feel at home. And by H-E-B, the official grocery store of your Austin Bold. No store does more than H-E-B. Well, the Danny Mazovsky show apparently travels as well outside the state limits of Nevada. He finds the second goal for Reno. They lead.
And it's my pleasure to welcome all of you to Del Seton Medical Center at the University of Texas for a very exciting announcement this morning, to where we're announcing that Ascension Seton is both the title sponsor and the medical provider for the new Austin Bold here in Texas. So we're very excited for that. So when the players, athletes, or families need care, we're going to be there and have the people available for you on the field. And you can rest assured that Ascension Seton and our affiliated physicians will be ready to serve. And so with that, I'd like to welcome up to the stage the owner of our new soccer team, the Austin Bold, Bobby Epstein.
You know, I was trying to think of a lot of the similarities, and there are a lot of similarities between Ascension Seton and the work they do, and the Austin Bold, and the work we try and do. With all the giving you do, we want to be meaningful too. And for that, and to show our commitment to this community, the Bold are going to give 5% of all their ticket sales to Dell Children's Hospital.
Solomon Asante does it again. Mr. Reliable from the spot. Asante does it again.
As Asante steals it and just puts it into the back of the net.
Sam DaCosta. The attempt at an amazing goal! Or maybe a goal of the year candidate from Rodrigo DaCosta.
This side as well.
That's a good point. Let's wait and see if they do.
As Kamara absolutely flies past Tete for face. Here's Kamara! And a brilliant save from Cody Mizell. Mohamed Kamara is causing problems.
Mikey Rowe now. Rowe takes it on and it's in! What a strike! And Tormenta, they strike first! Ontivero. Silva will have a hit! Oh, good save by Jimadu.
Hilton goes charging through, has to go! And what a strike it is from...
Oh, that's sensational! Oh, what a strike! Kadima! Saved by Bettleson! The Orman lets it fly, more on the save.
This match is brought to you by Dell Children's Ascension, the official charity partner of Austin Bold FC. Courtyard by Marriott. Step up your stay at the Courtyard Austin Pflugerville, where winners feel at home. And by HEB, the official grocery store of your Austin Bold. No store does more than HEB. Well, it is all about finishing in the top 10, and if you want to be greedy, in the top 4 in the West in the USL Championship. These are your standings as of this afternoon after Sacramento's victory against RGV. They found that game winner late. That's the difference between them sitting on 41 points in 5th or eclipsing Orange County now up into 4th. As you see, Phoenix, Reno, and Fresno still ahead of them. Reno hoping for a valuable 3 points for separation to remain in the top 2. We take a look at some finals from yesterday as well as the one that affected this outcome perhaps earlier today with Sacramento finding that late game winner. New Mexico United, such a brilliant start as an expansion side. Hit some dog days of summer, but starting to find some success once again. Orange County able to hold off that other Texas side in El Paso, as well as San Antonio's victory last night, convincing as Rafa Castillo able to reemerge a local hero, the legend in the Alamo City. Take a look at some of the nuggets. As again, how quickly this inaugural home slate will have seemed to have gone by. So many great memories in this first year. Boulder hoping for a comeback tonight at Las Vegas next week. That'll be a 6 o'clock Central start on Sunday. That will be the final guaranteed home match for Bold fans to come see. They're hoping for a playoff showing. And then, of course, Chris Tierpak is all in on staying here close to home after growing up in Dripping Springs. And Copa Tejas finally has Austin Bold engraved on it. The first team to ever claim that trophy. A chance to have your own selfies with the silverware. We'll step aside when we come back, put a wrap on things here at the half, including first half highlights. I'll tell you what, there will be at least 3 highlights we'll show you when we come back.
Formula One.
Off.
Live performances from Rock Titans and Magic Dragons. Pop icon peak of the city.
A lot of fouls.
It's the most high-octane entertainment event of the year. The Formula One United States Grand Prix, November 1st through the 3rd in Circuit of the Americas. Tickets available now at thecircuit.com.
Fans enjoying the local fair here at the half. Of course, we are nestled into the only F1 racetrack in North America, Circuit of the Americas here at turn 15. Right now, Bold hoping for a turnaround in the second half, down by 1 as, well, a silly foul in the area, but it had to be recognized, set up a PK. This is after Diego Restrepo early on helped keep it scoreless. Both goalkeepers were heroes in the early going.
They absolutely were. Austin thought they found the opener, goal disallowed, and then the other way. Herzog draws the PK, buries it himself, puts Reno on top 1-0.
It was one of the few times that Reno had a chance to even test Diego Restrepo, but they made it count. And of course, the man of the hour, the man of the week, likely the man of the month when it's all said and done, Danny Mazovsky, now sitting on, what is that, 7 goals in the past 2 weeks. Brilliant performance.
Herzog 14 goals on the season. Mazovsky 7 in the last 2 weeks. Possession all in favor of Austin, 66%. They had 8 corner kicks in the first half, but they trailed 2-1. And that just shows that if you don't put a team away, if you give them opportunities, and that was the case. Even when Austin came back, they gave Reno that opportunity. Glito right through the defense of the Bold. And an easy shot buried by Mazovsky.
Yeah, Reno could have captured more possession if Glito hadn't run so quickly down the pitch with that ball. We take a look at what is on the horizon for Reno. Well, their ears perked up when they saw that New Mexico was starting to click again over there in Albuquerque, but that's exactly where 1868 is headed before they welcome the men from Salt Lake City as well as El Paso to town. Then they finish on the road at Las Vegas, at Tulsa. As it won't be smooth sailing for Reno, certainly a chance for some road bumps along the way.
Yeah, they have some tough opponents upcoming, as does Austin. Austin just one more home match. They host Las Vegas next Sunday, and then it is on the road up to the Pacific Northwest to Salt Lake City, out to El Paso, and then up to the Pacific Northwest again to take on Tacoma.
Yeah, those aren't Twitter handles. They're actually at all 4 of those places to close out and try to salvage a spot among the top 10 in the postseason in the USL Championship West. And again, some of the storylines around the league as a whole. A chance for you to vote for your favorite shirt. That vote is still open until the 19th. Next Thursday, part of the Culture Collection. You can learn more on USLChampionship.com. San Antonio FC is not content with where they are, barely on the plus side of that playoff line, still finding additions. Most recently, Tony Taylor, the Panamanian. And then, of course, on the Eastern Conference side of things, now 2 teams, that's twice as many than on the Western Conference side of things, have been able to punch their ticket into the postseason with both Red Bulls 2 as well as the Boys in Blue over there in Indianapolis. And we were talking about the Culture Collection, a chance for you to vote on your favorites. This is what Reno brought to the table.
Man, those are good looking, I must say. And I've had a chance to look at some of those Culture Collection jerseys this week online at USLChampionship.com, and there are some really cool jerseys. They've done a great job.
So again, some notable games, as each and every week's going to be so critical. Take a picture of the table today and just enjoy how quickly it changes from one weekend to the next, as certainly Reno will be involved in one of those marquee matchups with another expansion side in New Mexico. And of course, Fresno, as well as they've played, can they do what the past 18 or so have not been able to do? And we're not even talking about beating Phoenix. Just don't give them the full 3 points. Find a way to settle with a draw if you can. And of course, Oklahoma City Energy and Sacramento Republic will be a notable matchup as well. Great to have you with us here in the live music capital of the world, Austin, Texas. Pro soccer returned back in March, and it has been a successful run for the Bold. But they have fallen as of late, struggling to get the full result in their last couple of outings.
Long-awaited return, Austin fans. So happy to have professional soccer back in the 5-1-2, and they've embraced the Bold. Bold's so good at home through the first 4 months of the season, but recently it has not been what Austin fans have been accustomed to. The Fortress here at Bold Stadium starting to see a few cracks.
They started 8 wins, 3 draws, and just 1 loss. They are now 2 wins and 2 losses in their last 4 outings. Austin, I talk about not getting full results. They went on the road to a struggling Colorado Springs side, one of the few that's not in the hunt necessarily at this time, barring a miracle. They played them to a 1-all draw that required a comeback from Austin. It also required Diego Restrepo to shut down a potential game-winning penalty. Some heroics to salvage a point that could be critical on whether or not Austin now makes their way into the postseason. And, of course, empty-handed against Sacramento this past Wednesday.
Yeah, interesting decision when they went up to the Rocky Mountains to take on the Switchbacks. They did not bring their top flight side. They brought some players who traditionally aren't in the starting 11. They were unable to get the full 3 points. And then that loss here on Wednesday night to Sacramento Republic. This was the scoreline to start the second half, and this was ultimately the end scoreline as Sion McFarland comes on to start the second half for Austin. It is very good to see number 17 on the pitch.
Already making an impact in his first couple of minutes. A rare appearance off of the bench for the standard bearer, usually defensively for Austin, with his offensive approach as he goes down and wins this foul.
The Jamaican wins the free kick. I spoke with him on Wednesday night previous to that Sacramento Republic match, and he said he wasn't 100%. He wasn't feeling well. He played. He wasn't his usual self, just up and down the pitch, but very good to see him out there. And as you so correctly said, his impact felt immediately.
Let's check back in with Austin.
Thanks, Lincoln. Reno has a 2-1 lead heading into the second half. And if you're the Austin Bold, that's not good news because Reno has only lost one match all season long when they have the lead heading into the second half. The first goal is due to forward Corey Hortzoff, which is his 14th goal of the season and ties a career high. I caught up with the Reno head coach Ian Russell at the half, and he said he knows the Austin Bold is going to be attacking in this half, so he has to make sure his defense shifts quickly and does a very good counterattack to try to get their offense going as well.
Austin, thank you. Bold trying to be one of the few teams to come back late. Braffide will curve this one, but unable to keep it below that crossbar as both he and Baez were in the area. Remember, it's Baez who took over the corner kicking role that finally did result in a goal for the Bold here in this matchup. But Reno came right back. Restrepo watches that one go wide. All of a sudden, that has to be slow motion once you know you can do nothing about it.
Optimistic attempt there, Herzog, but why not? You have 14 goals on the season. You've already struck once today. Take the opportunity.
Again, Austin mentioned that was goal number 14 for Herzog. Again, that matches a career high for what has been a very successful career for Corey. And the flag does go up offside. Austin was able to match that Herzog penalty with a goal of their own from Kleber, but it was a quick response from Reno in what at least statistically has been limited possession for 1868 on the road, but yet they've got more bang for their buck when they have had the ball.
They do indeed. They've done a good job weathering the storm, particularly in the first 25 minutes when Austin was just continuing to knock on the door. Bersano, a great job, came up with some big saves, and were able to find a way by number 12. Then the penalty kick put all the momentum on the side of 1868.
Think of all those balls that Bersano sent away on corner kicks early in this matchup, keeping that sheet clean. Eventually one got through on a set piece, but Reno quickly able to reclaim an advantage for him.
And for Reno, it's going to be important to keep those forwards clamped down for Austin, keep guys on Andre Lima, on Kleber. How you keep an eye on the new addition of Sion McFarland coming out of the back, I don't know.
Guadarrama, the first half sub. We mentioned McFarland's come on as well. So 2 changes for the Bold right around the half for Marcelo Serrano. And even though one's a midfielder and one's a defender, I would argue both of them are offensive changes. McFarland.
And that's exactly right. Those are both offensive changes. Sonny G coming on for Diviardi, much more offensively minded for Marcelo Serrano's side, as is Sion McFarland. And the question we asked at the end of the first half, when will Austin going to start committing numbers forward, start gambling? It appears they're going to do so early to start the second.
Guadarrama becomes the third man to handle a corner. Reno unable to clear. Austin cannot slam home another equalizer.
Not a particularly well-taken corner from Sonny Guadarrama. It's fortunate that he got through, and then miscommunication as there were 3 Bold players in the vicinity. Mobi Akugo looked like he had the best opportunity to strike it on goal, but just not the touch he was looking for.
Bersano again, making his 16th start in frame. There's been a rotation of 2 men, both with their San Jose Earthquake ties. Their numbers have been virtually identical. Save percentage right around 68%, both with 3 shutouts. through a little over a dozen matches. And Austin with enough protest to merit the mustard being sent the way of Galindo.
That's an easy call there on Benjamin Galindo. Clear foul. Son of the former Mexican international sees the caution. First yellow for 1868 in the match.
And the victim Tierpak.
Yellow card.
We'd like to see Austin move the ball across the pitch, all play congregating there on that top touchline in center third. And there's a lot of space on the near side, particularly closer to Chuamasi and McFarland. Those guys so good. See if they get more opportunities.
This right here would be a Galindo special, but instead, Guadarrama for Austin against the club that has signed Galindo's son. Sonny. Sent right back to the Central Texas native, former Cedar Park High School Timberwolf. Spent a decade in Mexico professionally. Last year with San Antonio FC. Baez. McFarland curves one in, and Lima, thought he had done all the computations. The Temple sends that one just one.
The Rio native so good with his head, perfectly placed ball, and it kissed the outside of the post. What service from Sion McFarland. I thought McFarland had room. He could continue the run. No one in white there to shut him down, but he clearly knew what he was doing. Able to find Andre Lima. Lima just unable to put it in the back of the net.
Kleber, who often takes the approach, less is more. A subtle touch off his toe, off his heel, to alter a ball right onto the feet of a teammate can go a long way.
And he has an absolutely phenomenal touch. You've seen it, just feigning one way, the ball going the other. Like all good players, makes it look so easy. Lima calling for the ball, McFarland electing to go back.
Again, it was a stalemate that second half against Sacramento. Austin cannot afford such a thing here.
Part of the reason the Republic came to Austin and came away with the victory is because they were able to shut down those potent forwards, namely Kleber and Andre Lima.
Austin's not winning any tiebreakers on goal differential, should it come to that, for seeding or let alone reaching the playoffs. They've been a stingy defense, but at the same time, they themselves have not put up a lot of crooked numbers.
Good news for Austin fans is they've won a lot of tight matches, and they're going to have to here if they're going to come back.
Bold, who have hovered this past month even on the negative side of that goal differential count, sitting on -1. Nobody on that back post. So again, you and I were getting at it when we were talking about Edson Braffide trying to be the understudy for Sion McFarland's role. Easier said than done. Hey, go play defense and play from one end line to the other and be the fastest man out there on the pitch.
Well, the work rate from McFarland, incredible. I've spoken with the Austin training staff on numerous occasions, and he averages almost a 10K run when he starts a match, when he plays the full 90, just up and back from the opening whistle to the final.
As Herzog, you talk about offensive players who that ball gets stuck under their boots. That was a rare one where it was just stuck on his back.
I just couldn't find the touch he was looking for. Taylor happy to dispossess him.
McFarland, again, this offense will often run through him on the wing. Now that he comes on here in the second half.
You've seen Reno content to keep numbers behind the ball. They know they have the ability to counter.
Chuamasi and Tierpak over that ball, 18 yards out, and Reno able to poke it away.
And there was one of those counterattack chances. Herzog was looking up skyward. He was wide open had they been able to find him.
A little too unselfish as Lima tried to get others involved.
Reminiscent of what we saw from Austin in the opening 20 minutes. The Possession is not going to be enough. They have to do something with it.
And Bersano welcomes any kind of miscommunication the Bold may have that gets in their own way of him ever having
you already see
to stop the progress of that ball.
The attacking mind there of Sonny G since coming on, the difference he has and he makes through the middle of the pitch. And that was something that was lacking on that loss to Sacramento on Wednesday night. They were good in the wide channels, but you have to win down the spine. In Austin, the midfield just uncharacteristically not on their game.
McFarland, again, putting on a clinic there, matched up with Mendiola.
Nicely done, Galindo, able to take it away. Lima, a touch too many.
Mendiola. As that one just shut down point blank by Taylor. Well, winning possession by the end of 90 minutes is not going to be good enough. Those possessions need to find the back of the net. Kleber's done it once. But that brace will have to wait.
Kleber unable to put it on frame, couldn't force Bersano into a save, and Tuamasi was the man who won it and found number 9. That is an opportunity that it's rare that Kleber does not take advantage of.
Pretty soon we'll be down to the final half hour. Reno's going to be going to the bench for their Cuban for the final 30-minute push to try to pull away. Mafeka out wide. Inside the area. But unable to sneak it in that back post.
Herzog has to be a bit frustrated. He was there waiting for Gleedle. Gleedle just couldn't find him.
There were technically substitution in the 59th minute. Reno 18-16.
So again, officially now coming on, Paradela, the 22-year-old from Cuba, on loan to Reno. 9 matches with the Cuban national team, including this year's Gold Cup. And he comes on for Herzog, who made no mistake on that penalty kick to get the scoring started.
Interesting substitution here. Herzog looked to me like he was still had a lot left in the tank. Coach Russell electing to go with the young Cuban to see what he can bring there in the attacking third.
Saw him come on for the final 35 minutes against Tacoma when that one was already out of reach. Different story here with just a 1-goal difference. McFarland with fresh legs.
Nice switch.
Raffine and Guadarrama on that left wing. And that ball took a spin in favor of the Bold. A corner kick coming up.
Yeah, well done by Sion McFarland. Saw all the play was congregated here towards the near touch line. Plenty of open space on the other side and was able to play it over. Ultimately, Austin wins the corner.
Guadarrama not wasting time, sending that one into the masses. But finds the blonde tips of the Cuban. Austin gets one more crack at it from 20 yards out. But the score still the same that we had entering the half.
Bersano wisely just trying to settle things down.
So the Bold have made 2 substitutions. Reno has dipped into the bench once. The entire pitch now engulfed in shadows on this Sunday evening as that burnt orange sunset off in the distance. Brafide trying to keep it away from Paradela.
One of the first real opportunities for Paradela, couldn't make anything of it. Brafide's done a good job. There's been a lot asked of him. So far, he's been up to it, taking care of his defensive responsibilities while contributing on the offensive end.
Captain tosses it in. And Mendiola back on it. Mendiola sends one to the top of the 18. Shot shut down again by Taylor. Jermaine Taylor again intervening to make sure Restrepo does not have to make another heroic save.
Longtime MLS man, Houston Dynamo player, Jamaican national team, and just his soccer IQ out of this world. He understood what was coming, where he needed to be. What Reno thought was a wide open opportunity, Taylor quickly shut down.
Joe Masi has not been able to make the long runs he did midweek. Reno has known where he is at all times with that 45 on his back.
Had a little more success in the first half, but Reno quickly has been able to shut him down, not giving him the opportunity.
Sonny. McFarland to work his magic. This time it's the back line of Reno stepping up for Bersano. Poked away.
What a save. Bersano rising above Tierpak, was ready to dive in to head it, hoping for the equalizer, but another big save from Matt Bersano.
And Taylor will go down fouled. Again by Luis Paradela.
Coming into this match, all the talk about Reno's offense, particularly Herzog, Wasowski, and the like, but Bersano and the defense have been impressive.
Well, again, fans, the USL unveiled its elite youth program, the USL Academy. This allows clubs at all levels across the USL to develop its local youth and compete at the highest level across the United States, including the USL Academy Cup. For more information, simply visit uslsoccer.com/academy. Reno has the benefit of tapping into San Jose with a lot of their up-and-coming talent. We've seen the Bold work some teenagers in with local ties. Kleber.
He had a chance had he taken that shot earlier, but a touch too many gave Reno defense time to get in position.
Mendiola begging for the ball at the bottom of your screen. And simply a throw coming up for Reno.
Big opportunity missed. Raul Mendiola streaming down the field, screaming for the ball. He was wide open.
Austin makes its final sub. As it appears,
Your attention, please.
we'll wait till it's official.
Substitution in the 66 minutes. Entering the game, number 12.
Yeah, DeMar Phillips for Chris Tierpak. That is not a natural swap. We'll see what Austin has in mind here.
Phillips, one of those players who can plug in anywhere on the pitch. We've seen him on the defense, can play midfield, goal-scoring threat as well.
Twice a champion in Norway, of course, 72 caps with the Jamaican national team. A little over a decade removed from that Caribbean Cup in '08.
See Reno in no hurry to take the corner. Taking the precious seconds, giving their side a chance to catch their breath.
Reno has not had insurance, and Restrepo will not allow an opportunity here. Chuamasi, Kleber, each looking to play the full 90. Guadarrama in space. The bounce at his feet sends it in. Lima over the crossbar.
Austin traditionally not a counterattacking team, but it was a good one there. Restrepo, quick outlet. Chuamasi played it cross pitch over to Guadarrama. Well-weighted ball. Galindo held his line, didn't commit the foul.
Andre Lima, true target for it at 6'1", and Guadarrama knew exactly how to put that ball right on him.
See the frustration on the face of Andre Lima.
He's had closer misses here tonight. Mazovsky sticking around, hoping for an opportunity to pounce on a miscue for another brace, perhaps. And they'll get clever, or perhaps an advantage had played out as they'll bring it back here. McFarland quickly makes his decision. Another corner kick coming up for the Bold. It'll be handled by Javi Baez.
Austin 8 corners in the first half. They were unable to get one by Bersano via the set piece.
He knows where Lima is. Will there be another option for the Bold? McFarland couldn't settle it. And Chuamasi will simply win another set piece for Austin.
Brafide was there at the top of the 18. There was a chance for both McFarland and Chuamasi to play it on to Edson Brafide. Neither did.
Slightly narrower window now for the Bold comeback. A little over 20 minutes to play. Brafide.
Nicely done by Mendiola. Didn't bite. Knew Brafide was going to serve it back in and was able to deflect it out.
Again, DeMar Phillips came on for Tierpak technically, but you see him on that back line. It was after Guadarrama had come in. More offensive mindset in the midfield.
That's giving players like Edson Brafide and Chuamasi the chance to really go forward and not come back defensively, and Sion McFarland, now that they have Phillips reinforcing the back line.
McFarland presumably is going to be spending a lot more time forward. His service. Bicycle from Lima. Oh, a tough shot to Mendiola. They can't stop play yet. And now, with the Austin attack coming to a halt, friendly fire taking out Mendiola.
And Mendiola just caught that one right smack dab in the nose. A teammate tried to clear it out.
As Lima basically made it difficult for Mendiola to see that ball coming at him.
There was no chance for him to move out of the way. That ball hit so hard.
Reno still has 2 subs remaining, if there's concern here.
And Austin right now, just serving ball after ball into the box, but not a lot of success. And give the back line and the midfield credit for Reno.
Yeah, we'll keep replaying it. It's going to hit Mendiola every time. And you certainly just hope he's okay.
You'd like to hope Austin could get something offensively, but just cross after cross may not be the ticket. But that may be their only option, is Reno so many white jerseys into the box and not allowing them to play to feet.
There will be a change here for Reno. It'll be their second of the night. As we will see Saeed Haji, the San Jose Earthquake, come on. The number 2 overall selection this past year in the Major League Soccer Super Draft. Generation Adidas player comes on. Product down of Somalia. Spent his final couple years at college at Virginia Commonwealth. And Mendiola just out of concerns. Precautions will come out.
Haji, one of those players, so much talk about what a bright future he has. Sky's the limit.
12th appearance for Haji.
Still trying to acclimate to professional football.
McFarland, a second-half sub tonight for the Bold. They've made all 3 of their changes now. August 10th was when Austin, for just a second time this year, lost a home match. But we would see them fall on Wednesday and potentially twice in 1 week if they cannot level this one. Chomasi. That one takes a left turn when he needed it to go right.
Yeah, it's Jan McFarland making the overlapping run down the right side. Tried to cut it back in, not on his strong foot.
Allows Bersano to take a few more extra seconds off that clock.
Austin fans looking on nervously. They know what's at stake, particularly after the loss here on Wednesday to Sacramento Republic.
This was your final score the first time these two teams met. Just the second match ever played by Austin. It's after they had played to a scoreless draw against Las Vegas in Nevada.
Just not enough off-ball movement from Austin. Too much watching the player with the ball, hoping that he's going to make something happen. You want to see the black and teal jerseys moving through.
Brafad sends this one in, and Bersano, no hesitation. Let's check back in with Austin Ivan.
The second goal for Reno in this game was a score from Danny Muskowski, who has been very good as of late. Just on Tuesday night, he netted 4 goals himself, all in the first half of play. And head coach Ian Russell knows that he has the hot foot as of late. So every time one of his players is throwing the ball in bounds or they're running up the field next to him, he's yelling at them, get it to Danny, look for Danny. We want Danny to have the ball. So Austin needing to pay extra attention to him as they try to make a comeback late in this game.
Yeah, he's already been able to find success once. Of course, you give him credit for the goal, but the man who set up that goal back in the first half was Sam Gleadle with a brilliant run, drawing the attention of 3 Bold defenders at his back, and of course Restrepo favoring him. And that was the one of the few times you had to look away from Mazovsky, and it made them pay.
Yeah, Mazovsky, his 7th goal in the last 3 matches, but as you so correctly said, it was Gleadle, his run through the heart of Austin. No one is able to slow down number 23. All the focus was on him, and it was a wide open number 9 who he laid the ball off to, and all Mazovsky had to do was tap it in.
Now we're going to have to keep talking about Danny. Danny holding the back just below the hamstring. Reno fans have had a lot of great soccer to watch this year, even with that 4-match losing skid. Another look at where he may have felt it right there while elevating for that ball. It had nothing to do with contact with Taylor unless perhaps his knee caught the back of him. What I was going to say was, you know, Tacoma, you beat them 5-0. You think, well, sure, that's a slightly differently built club over there, but not every team is taking care of business when they should be against the bottom of the table.
That's right. And when you have those opportunities, matches that at least on paper you should win, and maybe handily, you have to come away with the full 3 points. The Western Conference, as tight as it is, you cannot leave points on offer.
He is in line for the game winner tonight. Herzog scored the penalty. Austin was able to answer with Kleber. But soon after, that second goal arrived for Reno. All of this in the first half. It's pointed out with Paradela, he's one of the few Cuban athletes who aren't here because of defecting. Into the 18, Restrepo. There were 2 Reno men on the back post in those bright white kits, but instead you test the man in gold.
Diego Restrepo doing what Diego Restrepo does best. He's not 100%, but still able to come up with a huge save, keeps it a 1-goal game.
That means there's still hope for Austin.
All year long, he's come up with saves like that.
Kleber from 18, shut down.
Nowhere for Kleber to take the shot. Couldn't find a sliver of space, but still elected to try to put it on goal. Yeah, we've seen that tonight from the 1868 defense. They're very disciplined. They're not giving Austin forwards chances.
Mafeka can't clear. Austin that close to an equalizer. Hardware intervenes.
Off the woodwork. Austin, a goal disallowed in the first half, 1 off the post here in the second.
You talk about that header from Lima that narrowly missed wide earlier. That ball that finds the post when Bersano could have no answer, hoping to intervene. And yet, the score remains.
That was him to Amasi. Just measured it perfectly. Inches off.
And flag up. As the foul also draws the yellow. Another look at a moment ago, that this close to being 2-2.
Your attention, please. Yellow card issued in the 80th minute.
Woodwork, the best friend of a goalkeeper, and it was there for Bersano.
Jamar Phillips, who's come on in the second half, receiving that caution. There will be no brace for a 3rd straight match from Mazovsky as he comes off.
Reno 1868 into the game, number 9, Mazovsky.
As Valencia comes on.
Entering the game, number 30, Luis Valencia Guerrero.
Couldn't find him.
Restrepo making the stop.
Diego Restrepo out there putting on a highlight reel performance, and he has to get some help. Doing everything. Able to stay on side that time. Said Haji right at Restrepo. A monster save.
Everything but a cape on the back of that hero here in Austin. He's kept it still within a goal. Mafeka. Short corner, happy to take more time.
Ten minutes remaining, the final still hanging in the balance.
Do not expect a lot of stoppage time to be added here after the 90th minute. Just a few substitutions, minimal injury. And unfortunately for Austin, no goals.
This match eerily similar to Wednesday night's loss to Sacramento.
Near post, kick save from Restrepo. Bold was hoping for an offside. Restrepo instead said, I got you.
Diego Restrepo. What a 15-minute period from him. Another massive save. 1868 throwing everything at Diego Restrepo, but unable to get by. They still cannot find the insurance goal.
Those gloves have gotten enough use. Went to the boots. Again, they'll start short from Kasipli. And simply a goal kick as Austin wins it back for Diego.
Restrepo doing his job and then some. Who's going to help him out?
Well, it's hard to imagine. You look at this pitch, the surface here at Bold Stadium, that it has just about wrapped up its first full season of professional soccer. Such a beautiful stage for the USL Championship. I know Bold hoping to play a home playoff match here, but if they can't put another one past Bersano, they may just be happy having a chance to buy a plane ticket anywhere for the postseason.
That's exactly right. Bold not worrying about finishing in the top four. They're just worrying about being in the playoffs.
Braffon looking for Lima. He was well marked.
Benjamin Galindo, it's been a rough outing for number 3.
Everybody had an eye on Lima, including that left one of Galindo.
Galindo, who saw yellow earlier. He's done a good job. He's been the man tasked with marking Lima much of this evening. And he's kept Andre Lima in check.
And that's an easy whistle against Janjigian over the back of the Brazilian. Reno, we talked about areas they've led this league, third in the league in goals with 61 coming into tonight, now sitting on 63, but they've only had one red card all year. They've not had to deal with suspensions. As I say that, we'll mention Will Seymour, of course, out tonight, serving a suspension. Chipped in. This one will get away. But Reno has not made too many foolish choices, receiving cards and costing themselves minutes in subsequent matches. Simply have not gotten in their own way.
It's a very disciplined team. You're seeing that here in the final stretch. They all play on the same plane. They know where to be. They move up and back as a unit, and they're certainly more defensive-minded at this juncture, as you would imagine, with just about 5 minutes remaining.
The Austin Chamber of Commerce would like you to enjoy that last postcard of a shot and invite, if a team is scheduled to host Austin for the first round, perhaps they'd rather come here instead. Not sure if their fans would sign off on it. This has been a great venue for this inaugural campaign here at the Circuit of the Americas. Chumasi still on the ball. Back to Ema. Taken down 18 yards out. They'll play on. Lima turns and fires point blank. Well, the Bold knew they could not stop to protest, but now the palms are to the sky.
We talked about the job Diego Restrepo's done in the second half for Austin. The defense for 1868, outstanding.
Austin hoping for the help of a whistle.
Marcelo Serrano wondering what he has to do for his side to just put a shot on goal.
Reno has stiffened up.
too unselfish there from Guadarrama. Ball played back to him. He has to take the shot.
Reno closing in on its 48th win through its first 3 years in the USL Championship. In its first 3 years, Louisville City had 49, FC Cincinnati, the Standard Bearer, with 51. Obviously, Reno can still eclipse 50 and become just the second club to ever do so, while making it to the playoffs all 3 years. And this will not go unnoticed as the foul call.
For as good as the offense of 1868 has been all season long, it's the defense to me that has stood out tonight.
Kleber trying to help explain where 10 yards should be. Austin not allowed for the quick start.
Austin knows that their chances may not be too many with such little time remaining.
Guadarrama inside the final 3. Sonny into the masses. And a goal kick for Bersano.
A great ball put in by Sonny G. Put in a dangerous area, exactly what he needed to. Well weighted. Andre Lima able to get a touch to it, but couldn't find a teammate.
So many near misses tonight for Austin, including all those corner kicks in the first half. Finally, one did result in a score. Meanwhile, a foul in the area on what was certainly not a dangerous ball, but a foul that had to be called. Sets up a penalty for the first goal for Reno. And then just a brilliant individual performance, an unselfish pass, and a very familiar goal scorer, giving Reno the difference maker for now. And let's see how this is addressed.
That's a yellow card.
As Braffide hip checked. And Mafeka for now, no card.
And I think Mafeka may have gotten away with it had he not extended to the elbow, and you saw him right there getting his shoulder into the body of Braffide. It was that final little bit, at least in my opinion, drew the whistle.
Hip checking him right into a member of the Austin community. Able to toughen it out. No need for magic spray.
Yellow card.
And there was, in fact, a booking, but this is that other aerosol can. Limited opportunity for the Bull to salvage a point here at home.
Keep an eye on Javi Baez, top of the 18.
Guadarrama. Lima trying to win a penalty. Bold will have to track this one down. No indication just yet, and now 6 generous minutes of stoppage time for Austin.
Huge break for Austin, anticipating 4 at most.
Minimum of 6 minutes of added time in the second half.
Austin, new life.
Kleber on it, turns, but again, Reno with men in the area.
And that's been the case all night long. Reno, numbers behind the ball. They've been disciplined. They haven't bid on the fakes, just keeping their bodies between the ball and the goal.
Well, Austin's not going to be any worse than 7th. After today, we already have the results of all the other matches in the West from yesterday, as well as Sacramento and RGV earlier today. But they were going to have a chance to possibly climb as high as 4th before Sacramento came back for the late game winner today. Austin was still eyeing possibility of being in the top 5. And now you really do let it sink in that a team from outside the top 10 could possibly jump Austin in the next couple of outings. Raffide loses the ball and commits the foul. And yet there's still more than 4 minutes to go. And the captain with a little chat. Again, Brent Richards, your 29-year-old out of Portland, had those 3 assists, a little hat trick of his own. Back against Tacoma. Bersano, by stopping a penalty last week, a clean sheet. His 3rd.
At this point, Austin just they have to send everyone forward. If you're going to lose this match, it doesn't matter if you lose by 1 or 2 goals. Still 4 minutes of stoppage time remaining, and you see Javi Baez sending everyone up the pitch. Austin may not be able to come away with a full 3, but they can at least try to salvage a point.
I mean, how many more times can you put a ball on the temple of Andre Lima? McFarland pins one in. And again, Lima. They find the 6-1 target. Just cannot catch a break.
There it was. That's what Austin's been trying to do from the opening whistle. Put it into the box on the head of Andre Lima. McFarland did his job. Lima couldn't equalize.
Sion McFarland. Back post, nothing but white kits. Okugo. Well, this is basically a summary of the first 20 minutes of tonight's match. Austin pitch tilted in its favor, but Reno just threw body after body. Right place, right time. Able to frustrate the home sun.
Every stat in favor of Austin. Possession, corners.
It was Javi Baez finally able to break through on a corner. They'll do it again. Double-digit corner kicks tonight for the Bold. And nobody to finish things there on the back post.
And Austin has had the opportunities. They've had chances, 2 good ones here in stoppage time.
Okugo has 2 goals this year. They were both in the same match in Albuquerque. Now he's back defensively. Paradela trying to slow him down. And the Cuban trying to chip over Restrepo. That ball went around off the mark. Likely in the final minute here.
Sometimes the ball just doesn't bounce your way. That's part of the game of soccer. We said it early, Reno, 8 victories, just 1 loss when scoring first this year.
Reno looking for its first winning streak since they beat Colorado Springs in RGV back-to-back, bridging July into August. Again, that was then followed by the 4-match skid. that was finally ended this past week against Tacoma. Austin just one Reno miscue away from leveling this in the final seconds. Another corner kick for the Austin Bold.
Is this their last chance?
Lacroix and company. A solid night here in Texas. You see the numbers, they just haven't translated. Restrepo is in. And that was your final chance for the Bold, who dropped back-to-back matches here at home. And for the 1868 Reno, 3 points on the road, a winning streak in crunch time here in September.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Austin, a tough loss Wednesday night, another tonight, both 2-1. Austin only one home match remaining before they go to the road, and they are at this point just hoping to stay in playoff contention in the top 10 of the Western Conference.
A lot of respect for those boys from Nevada. They will leave Austin with 3. We'll be back in just a moment.
Join us next Sunday for our last home match for Fan Appreciation Night. It's a night you don't want to miss. Let's end our season with a bang. We'll see you then. Hey, soccer fans, don't forget to come join the Austin Bold in the Velocity Lounge for dinner and drinks. Open until 11 p.m. We'll see you then.
No score in that second half as Reno's 2 first half goals prove to hold up for the 3 points on the road tonight. And despite the fact that, well, his production was down 75% from his last outing, Danny Mazovsky is still among our men of the match. He had yet another goal here tonight in Austin. What a night, and he is with Austin Ivan.
Danny, in the final few minutes of the game, Austin was trying to do everything they could to get that equalizer goal. What were you communicating to your players on defense to try to stop them?
I mean, we were just rallying together. We knew we were up a goal at halftime, so we were just saying, you know, play it smart and pretty much just hunker down and get that shutout for the second half, and that's what we did.
You get the 2-1 win. How important was it to get this win in Austin, get the full 3 points with playoffs just around the corner and the race being so close?
Exactly. The race is so close. They're right behind us on the table, so this was a huge one for us. I think we all came out ready to play, and we executed on that game plan.
You've had a big week. Tonight you had the go-ahead goal. Just on Tuesday you had 4 goals. How have you been able to find the net so easy this week?
I've just been sticking to what I've been doing. A lot of my teammates have been playing in great balls, and honestly, my finishes have been pretty easy. So, I mean, I owe it to my teammates. They're giving me good service.
Playoffs just around the corner. How would you assess how your team is right now in the most critical time of the season?
I think we're doing good. We were in a little bit of a slump, but now we got 2 wins in a row, so we're just going to keep building off that.
Thank you, Danny. Go celebrate and get some rest. You said you're tired. Good luck in Mexico next week.
Yeah, congrats to the 1868. Austin, thank you very much. Want to remind everybody tuning in that, again, you'll be able to continue enjoying the USL on ESPN Plus and with ESPN through at least the 2022 season. If you haven't learned about the extension, exciting news, and we'll continue to see some great soccer like tonight over the next few years here on ESPN Plus. Which numbers stand out to you, Kit?
Possession, shots, corners, which you don't see, all in favor of Austin, but the number that matters, goals, 2-1 in favor of 1868. Give him credit, a big victory on the road.
Herzog found his 14th goal of the year with the penalty that he was able to slot home past Restrepo. And then again, the wonderful individual effort for Gleadle to help set up really that interview for Danny Mazowski, as Mazowski again finds yet another goal to help Reno continue their winning ways. He now has 2 straight game winners in their last 2 outings. Sion McFarland just records 45 minutes tonight, but you just truly enjoy your opportunities to watch him go out there and play football.
Oh, without a doubt, and I'm glad to see him back. I wasn't quite sure how he'd be able to recover. Austin's going to need him to play a full 90 when he comes up these final few matches.
Bold come up short, and that means the window for error so narrow moving forward. In fact, their final home match of the season is this next Sunday against Las Vegas, the last chance to see them in person here in Central Texas. For Kip McConico, Austin Ivan, I'm Lincoln Rose. Reno 1868, back-to-back victories, 6 points now in the last 2 outings, and with it, an increased opportunity that they will have a chance to host in the opening round of the USL Championship postseason. Good night from Austin.